Hello and welcome to MGP270. I'm Kevin, with me as ever the sheepdog, Anna and Pab. Say hello, boys and girls.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. How are we on this fine Wednesday evening slash Saturday morning? Are we all marvellous?
Extremely marvellous, yeah.
Dandy.
I'm tired.
Why are you tired?
You've not been out before in a while,
Because there was a storm last night, so that kept me up. Then I've sort out for all hours today. I'm just extra tired, really tired. It's not fun.
It has been your first day going out on your own for 2 years.
Yeah. So
fending for yourself in the big wide world.
The buses.
Yeah.
When you tweeted that you were on the bus earlier, I thought, oh, she's going to be sleepy tonight.
What, you fought it like a farmer?
Yeah. That's how you think, stuff like that.
Well, she's a farmer.
Oh, my
It's
first.
it's Peterborough transport. It's awful. Just every hour, and then in town, single-decker buses for 50 people. When it's already half full, it was just not fun.
See, if you fired up the old Pokemon Go, though, you'd be living like a queen.
Yeah, but my phone would have died before I got to college, and I don't want to be holding one of them bloody things.
Yeah,
they're
I
really
suppose.
heavy.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
All that electricity weighs so much.
Buses should just have chargers in them now. Really
Well, no, I'll just get an iPhone 10. So, the X one.
That looked very good, didn't it? Yeah. Apparently, I know this doesn't really matter, but their share prices went through the floor.
Yeah, because their facial recognition didn't work.
You can imagine they'll fix that in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, exactly. And people making such a fuss about the fact that the handset's going to be over £1,000, but I looked up what my handset would have been if I'd have bought it outright, and mine would have been £950. So it's not that much of a big deal.
That. Yeah.
Who goes out and buys the handset
exactly
outright anyway? I don't understand some people's whining. It was like the student finance whine all over again. Oh no, it cost me £9,000 a year. No, it doesn't. It costs you £30 a month when you get a job at the end of it. Yeah.
And only if you get a well-paid job, so...
Yeah, exactly. People are crazy. But yeah, Anna, I'm just going to smash my phone up so I can get one too. Is that okay?
No, you're not. I told you to wait, but you wouldn't listen.
I wanted my pretty red one. I like to be
What phone
behind
do
the
you
times.
have?
I've got a 7 Plus that I got 6 weeks ago. Thinking,
You're such a moron.
I don't mind not having the 8. Not having the 8 is fine, and then they announced the 10 as well. Grrr. I'm just to tell everyone mine's the mysterious missing 9.
I was going to say, are they just skipping 9 altogether?
Yeah,
And what is
all these
obsession with
tech
doing
companies skip 9, don't they? Windows skip 9 as well. Apparently, you don't
because
have
7, 8, 9.
Well, it might be that. Apparently,
We really did, and that wasn't
exist.
a joke. That was a warning.
Right.
A warning all along.
Couple of bits of housekeeping before we get started. With regard to upcoming events, I think we've got an additional announcement for each of them, which is rather marvellous. So just a reminder, if you happen to be in Nottingham right now and you're listening to this on Saturday morning when it's released, come down to the National Video Game Arcade and see me and Anna and a load of Football Manager nerds, and come out for some barbecue food later on today. That will be ace. We have got a meal in the process of being arranged, and it will be rather splendid. So even if you not interested in Football Manager and just want to come and have dinner with us, come and do that. Send me a tweet and we'll add you to the booking. It's probably going to be at the new Red Dog Saloon in Nottingham, which I didn't know existed until I walked past it the other day. But I'm very excited to get Red Dog Saloon chicken wings back in my system after many years away. Presumably me and Anna will write a book on the way home, because that's what me and Sheepdog do when we go to the Red Dog Saloon. And then the EGX meetup on the Saturday night. I've been announcing the wrong barbecue place, Pab tells me. I've been saying Rub Barbecue. Rub Barbecue is one we went to 2 years ago, which is rubbish. We're not going to Rub. We're going to the Smokehouse, which is the one that we went to last year down by the canal. So it will be the Smokehouse at 7-ish. I haven't booked the table yet. 7-ish on the Saturday of EGX. There's been about 3 or 4 people who've got in touch with me to say they're coming to the EGX meetup. So that means I'm going to book a table for 8 unless I hear from some more people in the next few days. So if you want to be coming to the Smokehouse with us in Birmingham, you need to be letting me know pronto, or else you're going to be on your own and have to book your own table. There, Kev's rules. Then Play Expo. We're still aiming for the full weekend in Play Expo because we're ambitious. And Red's True Barbecue in Manchester on the Saturday night because Red's is awesome. And if you're on the fence about coming to Play Expo and you'd like a pair of free tickets, then you need to head on over to Kev's Twitter. If you head to Lelujo on Twitter, I've got a giveaway going at the moment. Play Expo have sorted us out with a couple of extra tickets. As little freebie giveaway things. So all you have to do is retweet my tweet, follow me, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and follow Replay Events, who are the organisers of the event, and then you're in with a chance of winning a pair of tickets for the Saturday at Play Expo. And there's been about 3 people enter so far. So seriously, there's a good chance you'll get the tickets if you enter. It'll be randomly drawn in like a week's time. And then there's the London one at Bodine's that we don't need to fuss about too much yet because it's ages away. Oh, we've got such busy social lives over the next few months. Isn't it exciting?
Yeah.
Not if I'm this tired, but it's not.
Yeah, it'll be your little holidays to recharge you after being tired.
Recharge? Yeah, but you make me go walkers, like miles.
Make me go walkies.
You do. You with your long legs.
He grabs my lead, bangs his leg, tap, tap, tap. Walkies, come on. Oh, he's got his whistle out again. Anna, Pab, tell us about Destiny 2. I've not played any more of it this week, but I hear you two have been playing it.
I haven't played it. I find it really frustrating at times, but then sometimes I find it very enjoyable. Just... I have no friends to play with, so
Hello?
doing... Yes?
Message me when you want to play. I'll come and help you. Because I'm in the same boat. I'm playing it all on my own. I'm just getting on with it, and it's very frustrating in places, and it would probably be easier. So just, if you're playing it and you're struggling, just hit me up and I'll come and play it, because I need people to play it with, so...
Yeah, it's really hard. Like, because it is for teams, like... I die when it's in a restricted area, and it's like 5 other different people that could be playing, but I'm doing it all by myself, and it's insane. It's very pretty though. I must admit, like the lighting is great. The shooting feels right, if you know what I mean.
Yes. Yep.
It feels like if I'm hitting them, they're not just bullet sponges. They do take damage in the way you'd expect them to, which I like. I didn't play Destiny 1 that much, so I don't know if there's any differences because I played it long ago. But it's alright, I like it. It's just hard on your own in places. You definitely want to play it with people. I like the public events. I find them fun. I just stand around and wait for them. They're really fun to do, especially when everyone comes together. It doesn't matter what level you are, you can participate. It is weird running around on the first day and there was level 20s already. I found that very weird. But obviously people are just hammering it. It got updated yesterday. I just did the update. It wasn't that big. I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what changes they made, but I went on the update thing. It says just check out Bungie. I was like, nope, I'm not that interested in it. But I'll just keep plodding on. And I don't understand the engrams. Do I need to be level 20? Don't know what they are.
Okay, so do you mean the ones that you get tokens and you have to go and hand them into people?
Yeah, I've got.
Is that the ones you mean?
I've handed them in, but I can't.
Hand them in. You can't collect engrams till level 20.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you hand in 20 tokens and you will get an engram, which will be a purple one which is legendary, I think, if I remember rightly. Okay. Legendary one, but you can't collect them until level 20. So
just keep playing.
Yeah, I was the same. I was getting on. I'll give you bloody loads of these things. Give me some. And I found out today that you don't actually give them out till you get to level 20. But you can start stacking them up.
Yeah, I've got like 2 that are ready to pop as and when I need to. So
yeah. I'm in the same boat with you, and I found parts quite frustrating. Which I didn't really find that with Destiny 1, but there were certain areas and certain missions that are just like I've had to literally put down and walk away for a day. I can't do this. This cannot be done, and then immediately do it straight away the day after.
Yeah, I just done that now.
Yeah, and when you mentioned the no respawn zones, and you basically have to start at a checkpoint just before like that battle again, and it punishes you because you still use your ammo that you died with. So it doesn't it's not a reload point. It's just like a respawn before, like at the previous checkpoint.
Yeah.
So if you use all your special ammo in that previous round and I don't have any going into it doing it again. So it kind of forces you to be very careful with what you do with certain ammos and stuff. And some parts of it drove me mad. But I'm really enjoying it again. It's. Like you said, Anna, it feels right. It always has done to me. I've always said this. I will say it again. Destiny is the best shooter mechanically out there. And you'll pan me for that. I know you will, Sheepdog. But it is genuinely probably one of the best shooters around. Just mechanically.
I'll put that to bed now. Kev explained it last week.
Okay. Good. But yeah, it's. The story isn't too bad either. I'm playing through the story missions. I feel like I'm not. I think I got told there's 4 planets, and I'm on the 4th planet now.
I've done the Farm Earth, the next one, and then I'm on the next one.
It's Titan and Nessus, is it? Nessus, I think something like that. I think that sounds right. Yeah, there's all sorts of things on them. The adventures are good. The adventures are like little side quests, things that are set away from the main quest. There's like 4 or 5 on each planet. They seem quite useful. They're not as bad as they had like beacons in the last game that you had to just go to and just do like some very simple side quests. They're much better than that. There's much more story in it. They're much more varied. They're much more difficult. And I think I'm now level 15.
Yeah,
creeping
same
up to
here.
nearly 150 light, I think, something like that, maybe a bit more.
Oh, okay, so you're quite high with your light.
Yeah, I'm creeping up there, and I think you have to be level 20 in the 280s, don't you, for the raid? Raid's coming today, hasn't it?
Okay.
No one near ready for that, but you need to. Yeah, you have to do some grinding to get that stuff up and what have you. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and I'd look forward to playing it. I'd want to play it with people. So Anna, next time you're on and you want someone to play with, just hit me up and I'll come and play with you, because
awesome.
I want people to play with, and it makes it more manageable, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's Destiny.
I think I need to start playing. I keep meaning to play it and then not playing it. It's been a busy week again. I will do. I just have the few times when I perhaps could have done. Anna already is, and I don't want to tell her to stop because then she growls and stuff.
You both play it. You both play it at the same time, can't you? Have you tried it yet?
No, he hasn't.
No, try it.
I've still got to do all that offline tutorial nonsense, and it's
simple. You're not that far away based on what you played in the video that you put out.
I'll get on it at some point. I don't know when. It's another busy week ahead, so I don't know when I'll fit it in. Busy time. I'll find time eventually. Another thing I haven't been able to find time for is Preacher, which I understand you two rascals have watched the finale of season 2 of now. Tell me why I should be watching this.
Sheepdog, tell him why.
Why do you not know why?
No, I want to see what you have to say first. See if you can explain it to me.
Yeah. So I mean, I personally really enjoyed it, and I know my wife thinks it's the best thing on. She says it's her favourite programme at the moment, which is impressive because we watch quite a lot of cool things now. I feel like the actors and actresses, the characters carry this a lot further than it would if anyone else was doing it. I've started to think that the story is just going to be a bit different from the comics from now on. I always thought they were heading in a similar direction, but it's gone quite deep in certain parts and not far at all in any others. It was trying to say it was going to end on a cliffhanger sort of thing. It felt like the show wanted to end on a cliffhanger, but it had already kind of telegraphed everything that was going to happen in the opening scene and really made a big point of hammering it to you as the episode was ending. Are you writing a complaint there or something in the background there?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I felt a bit like they have not made a mistake, but they've kind of underestimated the audience a bit, and they've explained what's going to happen too much rather than just leaving it a little bit mental. And like with part of the episode, my wife was like, "Oh God, they can't do that," and I said to her, like, "Well, you know, it's pretty clear where it's going." And she I mean, I didn't actually put two and two together properly. I just knew that that what was happening wouldn't happen. But then she pointed out the obvious bits, and I was like, "Oh yeah, yep, I'm with it." And I was basically writing and playing Pokemon Moon while watching it. But I do think it was a great season. I do think it's, you know, people watching it who've never read the comics will love it. I feel like people like me and Pab and Kev who've read the comics will think bits are quite different. But I don't know, it depends on whether you think you can ignore that. Like, I'm used to that by the fact that I've read all of Game of Thrones and then watched it all. You know, I usually have read the thing that I'm watching before I go and watch it. But I get the impression you're not enjoying it very much at all, Pab.
I was left annoyed at the end of that episode. It annoyed me because they did the same thing as they did last season, and I thought about it, thinking about it, it was exactly the same formula as the first season. You watched the first season, didn't you, Kev? Or parts of it?
I got like halfway through it and then just gave up.
Yeah, and they tease. There's too much like dilly dallying and teasing stuff, and then right to the last episode they go, "Here's a teaser for next season. Come back next year," and you go, "Oh yeah, that's great." And they've done exactly the same this season. Just done a very mediocre season, and they've put stuff at the end to say to come back next year's season. And I was like, they've done it again. They've done the exact same thing. Just made the last episode.
But the Saint of Killers has been a great, like, every episode there's been a bit of it. Not every episode, but most episodes has been like a thing with him or. I
don't know. I just feel like in general, I want to like this so much. I really do, because I think the Preacher franchise is amazing, but it's just not a patch on the books, and it left me annoyed. Everything left me annoyed. The stuff with Hitler. What are the ramifications of that?
Yeah, that was really weird.
There's nothing in the books at all related to any of the stuff with Eugene.
And it feels a bit basic, doesn't it? Like having Hitler. Like they couldn't think of anyone evil or make their own evil character, so they just went with Hitler. And it's like, I know that's easy for everyone to buy into, but you'd have kind of bravoed. I mean, a little bit of me feels like they're hoping for a bit of backlash to get a bit of publicity, because they've basically just let, a guy who killed that many people look like absolve himself a little bit. I was kind of like, they should have just invented a criminal.
I wanted more towards the end, the very last scene, basically. I'm going to spoil this now.
Go for it. I'm never going to watch it.
Okay, so basically the last scene is them, Jesse going back to the Langell ranch sort of thing, to his grandmother, and there's bits of the actual there's like flashbacks to in the middle of the episode of him as a kid there, and there's been bits throughout the series of that as well. They've been teasing it all season, and it's basically teasing it for next season. I wanted more of this. I wanted more of it than just him driving down that driveway. I don't know about you, but I was like,
I suppose if that's what you've been waiting for, then yeah, that's going to feel like they've not moved far.
They've not moved anywhere with it.
They've moved loads from the Grail, and that's what
the Grail's getting daft as well now.
It is starting to get a bit daft, but it was excellent for the most part. It kind of got daft in the comic, though, didn't it?
It did, yeah, but it became sort of the comedy value at certain points. But it doesn't feel like there's any threat from him. But then it wasn't really much of a threat from him in the comic book either. To be fair, but I don't know. I want to like it, but
yeah, I think the main mistake for the season is basically parking Cassidy and Tulip.
Yeah, that was
in a flat.
Yeah, and with his son. Yeah. I don't need to know any of this story. This is just, yeah, you're right. Just putting him in there and just letting Jesse go off on his own, doing his own thing. And I don't know. It's just I don't remember doing that to basically introduce the Grail and other things so they're not just throwing too many things at once at you. I don't know.
But it's like there are bits later on where they are separated and they wouldn't be in it as much. And it's like, why do that now when you know you're going to have to make a point later on, unless they're trying to get the viewer used to the fact that it's not always the Preacher Cassidy Tulip show. But then I'd rather they tried to adapt it so that it was than make it not.
Yeah.
So in summary, there's no reason for Kev to watch this show.
Probably not. I think
no. It's not a patch on the books, and I'll continue watching it because I want to like it, and I'm hoping that just a little tiny bit of it is really good is enough to satisfy me, pretty realistically. So yeah, well, don't bother, Kev.
I won't, don't you worry. What I have bothered with is the FIFA 18 demo, which released this week.
Yes, I did that.
You've had a go on it, have you?
I had a go on it this afternoon, yeah.
Ah, splendid. It's just what we played at Insomnia, isn't it? It's the same selection of teams we had there, I think.
Yes, I said that.
It's the exact build that we played there. But, now I've still got my 100% record on it because I've beaten you and I've won a couple of games against the computer as well. I think I'm pretty much ready to go pro on FIFA now. I think get into esports or something.
Yes.
What?
Rematch at EGX.
I'll just paint your wagon again.
Yeah, all right, then. Okay, there you go.
You're speaking to an up-and-coming FIFA YouTuber here. Yeah, which I better not put any videos out before then, because I don't want you to see my tactics.
Are we going to start a staged fight on a stage somewhere at some point?
Oh, don't get me started on that. I don't want to have to walk out.
Yeah.
Goodness me. I don't even want to talk about that idiot. But the FIFA demo is very cool. It looks in large part it looks and plays just like ordinary FIFA. But having had this year's FIFA, not ordinary FIFA, but having had a proper go on it now, rather than just the one go standing up while we were at Insomnia, what I've noticed is that the dribbling. I think the reason I put you in your place so convincingly before is because the dribbling is just massively improved on how it's been previously.
Yeah,
and I can actually do it now, which is a remarkable upgrade. Last time they made such a significant change, it was when they changed tackling, and I still haven't learnt to tackle again since. But this whole dribbling thing, obviously I need to test myself online or against a competent opponent, not just Pab. But against Pab and the computer, I actually seem to be able to dribble now, which is it's a new experience for me in FIFA, because previously, certainly since about FIFA 98, all I can do is pass down the wing, try and get past a man and whip a cross in. But now I'm doing little dribbles down the middle of the pitch and having a shot, and it's all new ground, and I like it a lot. It's a much needed improvement that actually seems to be working at the moment. So I'm pretty pleased with it. On the flip side of that, Pez, that was all over the upload event that I went to at the weekend, in addition to the demo for that being out, and I made it 10 minutes of match time into that demo before just turning it off because I couldn't stand it.
Really?
So, yeah, I'm still a FIFA man this year, it seems. Couldn't even bring myself to give Pez a chance. So Kev's official verdict is FIFA's still the game, and Pez is for people who... I mean, it's weird that it's the same price as FIFA, because it feels like Pez is for people who can't afford FIFA, when in actual fact they're the same price. It's very confusing. But yeah, FIFA demo. If you haven't tried it yet, if you haven't played FIFA for a few years, I think this is the biggest jump we've had since they did the whole individually moving limbs a few years ago, when everyone started to dance around and wave their arms and stuff. It feels different, but in a good way, and I am impressed. Freddie Ether, keep it up. Plus, have you had a go on the Journey in the demo? I've not even looked at that yet, but I've noticed Journey.
No,
I didn't.
Journey didn't interest me realistically.
You just want to watch me play it, yeah? Good boy. Yeah, it's a good boy. Everyone ignore the Journey and just watch Kev play through it. That's all you need to do. So, getting back to you two and your little TV shows.
Oh, yeah.
Rick and Morty, which I'm getting fed up of all the merchandise for this. I went to Forbidden Planet at the weekend in London, and it was just full of Rick and Morty tat. They had this pickle thing in the window. I don't want to.
Rick?
Yeah, I don't want to go to a shop that's got pickles in the window unless it's a chip shop and they're actual pickles. But he was in the window. It got to the point where there was so much pickle nonsense in there that I didn't even buy the Lion Cat plushie that they also had, which I've been looking for ages. But I couldn't bring myself to spend 45 quid on that because of the pickles that were everywhere, and I didn't want it to smell of vinegar.
You're a maniac. Pickle Rick was a modern day hero. It has become one of these things at the moment where it's probably at maximum hype. This week's episode I thought was really, really good.
Yes, Rick Lantis.
Yeah, people keep coming out with these theories and stuff at the moment, and I feel like most of the time they're overthinking it. But there was a point in this one where it's the first time they've really, really, really pointed at the fact that Morty is just Rick young. They had all the different Mortys that were in that class, and they had grown up Morty, and it was just Rick. And I was just like, okay, they've literally just pointed at that. That's basically saying it. That's not even hinting. That's just saying it. But everyone I went and spoke to at work was just like, oh, I didn't notice that. And I'm like, but they said it. Like, you know, I thought it was great. Anyway, great story. It felt like it was playing on The Wire, wasn't it? I think.
I don't know.
I've not seen all of it. I just assumed it was a Wire kind of nod. But no, it's a great program.
Yeah, it seems to be good, and it's always good.
Anna,
if Gav's listening, stop telling my wife not to watch it. Sorry.
You've been playing XCOM 2 this week, haven't you?
That game.
Now, the reason you've been playing this, Pav will get onto in a minute. But tell us about XCOM 2, Anna.
I've started this game 4 separate times now. Once on the PC and 3 times on the PlayStation. And I do not know what I am doing wrong, but I cannot stop that Advent thing from going to countdown. I get to the countdown and I'm like, what's the point? I'm just going to die. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I like the game. So now every time I get to the countdown, I just restart and start doing the missions again. Because I like doing them kind of missions. But for some reason, it's really, really hard.
It is, isn't it? That's what stopped me playing it. I love XCOM, but exactly the same scenario as you. And because my Mac doesn't really play it very well, it's a lot of effort for me to get it up and running. I didn't actually know it was out on the console. I don't know how I missed that, but yeah, it's put me off going to the effort of trying to play it because I'm in the exact same boat as you. It's too bloody hard.
Pab, you don't... No, go on, Anna.
I'd just say I love the game, but I don't know why they've made it so hard.
Yeah.
It's just annoying.
Pab, you don't need to worry about if XCOM 2 is any good anymore, do you? Because you've got an alternative.
No, I'm just playing basically the same game on the Switch.
And
with Mario and Rabbids.
And how's that? Do I have to go and buy Anna a Switch?
Yeah, you do.
Yes, you do. No, I'm surprised, Sheepdog, this hasn't tipped you over the edge for a
Mate,
Switch.
it has, sort of. My birthday's only, nearly a month ago, and I was just weighing it up and thinking, well, I could, get it. I imagine it'll be a Christmas thing, but we won't be able to find one at Christmas, will we?
Under the tree, of course.
Yeah, but I don't think Santa's got time to make another one.
Santa makes time as well. Get him to make a clock that ticks slowly first, and then use that to time him making. You don't think about these things, Sheepdog. Goodness me.
Mm-hmm. But I'll chance my arm at getting one. I am promised at the moment by contact from work that if I close this account, it'll get me enough funds to buy an iPad. I might just tell him I bought an iPad and buy a Switch. It's not for any particular reason other than I was telling him I wanted to buy an iPad, and he went, "If you close that, I'll get you one." And I was like, "Hoo hoo hoo." So yeah, hopefully that'll work out.
Yeah. I mean, this is basically XCOM. it's got a Mario / Rabbids skin on it, and I've never really played the XCOM games. I've seen them played many a time, but I've never been able to really get into them. This one's kind of drawing me in a bit now. I think I've got up to basically the first major boss, or a boss that took me about 4 or 5 goals, and it was driving me absolutely bonkers. Just this piranha plant rabbit thing that just it seems like he's got complete run of the entire map and just sets you on fire, and it drove me insane because I've only got you got 3 characters, and you've also got other rabbits against you as well, and it drove me absolutely insane trying to do it. But I did eventually do it. It took me, like I say, at least an hour, maybe more, and it was just driving me insane because it was just like, why? How can I go like 10 spaces up there and can't move any further? But this plant can just run and have a complete run around and just pick me off every time. It made me think you've got to actually think this through. I can't brute force this game.
Not interested.
To think tactically. Yeah. That's
not
what
for me.
Putting me off at first. But when you beat them, though, it makes you feel good. You have a good feeling when you're like, yeah, I beat that, and actually have to think about it and work it out and decide when to use my power-ups and get behind cover and use certain cover and decide which enemies to deal with first. And it's a real thinker of a game, and that's what XCOM is as well, isn't it? I mean, everything I've seen that XCOM isn't a game that you can just wander in and just get on with things. You've got to strategize, so to speak. But yeah, I'm just starting to unlock stuff now. You unlock different. You go back to like a hub world, which is Peach's castle, and you unlock things like the HQ where you can cycle out people and cycle out weapons, buy weapons, upgrade skills, or what have you. I think there's a multiplayer in there as well. I think you can do some sort of multiplayer in there. There's an amiibo house in there now, just been built, so you can put amiibos in. I don't know what you get from amiibos. Actually, I have to try that. But you can put amiibos in it somewhere. And yeah, like I say, it's kind of dragging me in. It's good just to play like sort of in bed and what have you now, just on the handheld, just before I go to bed, just have a quick go on that, and then realise I'm not very good at it and turn it off again. So yeah, I would if you're on the fence about a Switch, if this is your sort of game, like a strategy type of game, this is a very good one. This is a very good strategy game, and it's
so how many system sellers are we up to now on the Switch? Because I don't want to just buy it for one game, and don't include Zelda in that because she's already played Zelda.
I won't mind it on the Switch.
I wouldn't mind the £60 game that I've already played.
Well, I haven't finished it though because it takes forever to put the Wii U in, to find
let's disregard, for the purposes of this thought experiment, let's disregard Zelda. How many system sellers have we got at this point?
So if we've not got Zelda, we've got Mario Kart, we've got Splatoon 2, we've got Mario and Rabbids, we've got
Is Splatoon 2 genuinely
Can't think of any.
a Switch for?
I really like Splatoon 2. It's a multiplayer shooter game, and there's nothing else like it on the Switch. And it's a really cool shooter that doesn't require you to make the kills. It just requires you to cover the area in paint. So you don't have to be good at shooting the game. You just have to cover your zones up, and it's a really cool game. I really like playing it, and there's no voice chat or anything unless you use the app, so you can just get on with it without getting abused by people. And it's just kind of a fun, happy game. There's so much customization in it as well. It's a really cool system, I think. And there's so many indie games on. There's loads of indie games on there. It's frightening the amount of stuff on there.
At the minute, anybody have indie games. Oh,
if you like, yeah, there's loads of games. And Sonic's on there. That's where I got Sonic on. So it's on the go sort of thing. And I know I'm not great at Sonic, but it's a good one to have on the.
Odyssey at the end of the month.
Yeah, Mario Odyssey will be out end of October.
See, for me, Mario Odyssey, Mario Kart, and Mario Rabbids.
Well, Mario Kart doesn't count,
Zelda.
Mario Kart's just a re-release as well, so that goes in the same category as Zelda.
True.
He didn't have Mario Kart last time, though, did he? So it's a new game to him.
For me, well, I've got it on the DS. Well, my daughter's got it on the DS.
Yeah, so you've not played the Wii U version, have you? It was the same as the Wii U version, basically.
But is the DS one the same as the Wii U one?
No.
Okay. I mean, I just think that would be fun for the family. And if I could play the Wii U Marios that I never played, that would be handy. Does it have backwards compatibility with Wii U games? No. So I can't get like Mario Maker or anything like that? No.
I imagine at some point a new version of that will come because it's Mario Maker and it's a big seller for the Wii U. So I can't imagine it not coming to the Switch at some point. I
thought that we were only 6 to 9 months away from the Pokemon RPG, but apparently that's not out for at least a year and a half. So between
the actual Pokemon game, no, it's not. Yeah. It's not. They only announced it like at E3, so it's not even close to being ready yet. I don't think.
Sure, they originally said though mid 2018.
But I can imagine like getting pushed.
Yeah, so, apparently it's going to be a proper catch and train and.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a full. It's the next big Pokemon game that is coming to Switch. So yeah.
So Anna, are you interested in Splatoon?
No.
So at the moment, it is just this game. Is the only.
Yeah, I don't need it right now because, we're weeks away from Assassin's Creed. We're weeks away from Wolfenstein. We're weeks away from South Park. So. I don't need one now. It'd be nice to have one, but if I've got all that,
it's sounding like a New Year purchase with Mario and Mario Rabbids, and have a little dab on it then maybe. But I don't know. For one game, it still seems an expensive way to play one game at the moment. So
probably if you're only going to play that game, then yeah, I probably agree with you. I think
we got burnt by the Wii U. That's the problem.
Yeah, definitely.
We were there right when it was released, and
I could still count on my fingers how many times I've played on that Wii U that we spent £350 on. So I'm very wary of Nintendo consoles.
You lost 4 fingers in that fight. So,
exactly. And I still got plenty spare for counting how many times I've used my Vita as well. Right, where did we get to on my little list? Sheepdog, apparently you want to talk about Ozark. You were whining about it last week. You're whining about it again this week. It's not Breaking Bad. Let's not get down that route straight away. It's not as good as Breaking Bad, but otherwise, continue.
It's better than Breaking Bad season 1 once you've seen the whole season, I'd say, maybe. I think if they can keep building on it like Breaking Bad did over 5 years, then it could easily be as good as it. It has convinced me that I may know some money launderers. As friends, but I am aware of some people who work in the finance industry, and I am aware that they invested a lot of stuff. And I'm thinking, you're Ozarking this. Like, the second I came across the information, I texted my wife saying, I think they're in Ozarking, which isn't a thing. Ozark's a place, but that's what I'm calling it from now on. She isn't sure I'm right, but it's got loads of similarities. The main guy is known for comedic roles mainly, and he's playing a serious criminal. Maybe not as hardened as Heisenberg, but he's still working with Mexican gangs and stuff. How far through it are you now?
Like 3 or 4 episodes, maybe not even that. We watched the first 2 episodes, and it was fine, but it hasn't forced us to go back and watch any more of it.
It's only fine for the first few. Breaking Bad was identical in that regard. It was only fine for about 3-4 episodes. It's about 5 or 6.
No, the first really episode of Breaking Bad, they're already in the camper van having capers.
The first episode of this, they're already killing people and.
I'm not interested in killing people. I want middle-aged men stood in their pants in the desert, and it just doesn't give me that.
Well, it is starting to. It will get to that sort of thing.
Do I get middle-aged man in their pants in deserts at any point? Because that's what I watched Breaking Bad.
I can't remember. I can't remember. You may see some middle-aged men in their underwear. You definitely see an old man in his underwear.
Oh, okay, I'm on board.
I think. I mean, I'm not saying that it's a 10 out of 10 perfect score series. It's one of the ones at the moment that's a bit hot, and it's one of those where if you were still at work, you might get some of the older students asking you if you've seen it because it's really good. And I don't know if you really had that anyway. I always did when I was a teacher. They'd always be asking me if I'd watched.
To get on with their work.
I'm talking about like form time and whatever.
They knew not to disturb me during form time. That was when I read my comics.
Okay, but you don't really have any catch up on the TV's events at work conversations like I do, I suppose. But no, I recommend people check it out. And
what's it on, Sheepdog?
Netflix.
Is that Netflix?
Netflix? Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's been on there a while.
Talking of Netflix, Sheepdog.
Yeah.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Is that up to date on Netflix? Because I've heard you talk about new seasons of it, and I went on there to watch the most recent season that's on there, and I saw it like 2 years ago. I've seen them all.
Sure, it's up to date.
How many seasons of this should there be?
I can't remember now.
I think there's 10 seasons on Netflix, and I've seen them all, and I haven't watched it for well
more
over
than
a
that
year.
out, though.
Is there? Okay, so they're just not on Netflix
I think
yet.
they're on 12.
But it was on Netflix.
Well, it's not on Netflix now.
Weird.
Which is very upsetting.
Season 12 came out earlier this year. It was on there. I'm almost certain it was on there.
Well,
it wasn't on there. I watched it somewhere. Do you know what I mean? I was like,
how upsetting. Pubga.
Yes. Pubga, yes.
Pubga.
The new addiction.
Have you been
I'm back on it again.
Dropping your racial slurs on this game? That's what this game's for, isn't it?
No, I'm muted on everything. Yeah, I mute myself, mute the chat. If I don't hear any racial slurs or any music, because
don't want anyone to hear my racial slurs.
I don't want to tempt fate. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, this week I have had a first and a second finish. So yeah, I've got carried though every time. The actual first place finish, I got 0 kills again. Carried all the way to the end of it by our group. And then the second one, everyone else died but me, and I was just lying in a circle, just frightened to move. And then someone just came up and just shot me. I was like, "Oh, brilliant! That's showing my skills." Yeah, it's a new addiction again. I'm trying to get better at it. I just want to get good at it. That's all I want. I just want to get competent. Just being able to be a person that's not carried the entire round. Like I said, when we won, I basically was the guy carrying the fuel cans for the car. I was like, I'm doing the drop this. I was like, okay, I've got a big enough pack back. I'll pick up the fuel cans, and I just filled the car up every time we needed to drive somewhere. That's all I did, basically. That's my contribution to the victory. But I suppose that's an important one, because we wouldn't have got where we needed to be without me. That's how I'm looking at it anyway.
So are you playing this
I
with
really
people
enjoy
in a team?
Yeah. Generally in groups of 4. I usually just go onto Discord or what have you, and everyone's on there. And then I'm going on Destiny, and I'll go, come on, play. All right, I go on 1 game, and then 4 games later, and an hour and a half's gone. Oh, it's so good, though. It's good. And I'm looking forward to it on Xbox. It's coming out on Xbox at the end of the year. And I'm looking forward to that, because I don't have to have all these keys, and I've started binding stuff to my mouse now, keys. And
see, I was tempted until you said that.
Well, it makes it easier, because I'm forever just looking down at my keyboard going, what's this? What button do I need to be pressing? Looking at my keys, and then I get a shot. I mean to be looking around and keeping it stuff.
I'll wait until it's on Xbox
focused.
so I can play it like a civilized human being on a controller.
Apparently, you can play it on PC with controller now. There's full controller support now, obviously, probably because they're trying to make the Xbox One work with controllers. But I don't know how effective you are with that, because obviously you'll have a bigger advantage with mouse and keyboard on that game. So
I wouldn't. I can't even look straight with a mouse and keyboard. I have no advantage if I use that.
Well, like I say, only because of the 6 months or so I've played this game now that I've actually started to, I've started to get used to it and get back onto mouse and keyboard. It's the only thing I play with mouse and keyboard. Everything else is controller. So yeah, that tells you how good of a game it is that I actually force myself to play this game with mouse and keyboard just because I want to play it.
So I guess
I really do like it.
When this comes on Xbox, I'm going to have to finally invest in an Xbox One headset, because I've got this far into the Xbox One without having a headset I can use on it. I don't think I've played my Xbox One online yet, or maybe once or twice. No, I don't think so.
You get one. Did you not get one with your new Xbox? You get a headset with your Xbox.
I want a
usually.
proper headset. I want a turtle head beach set I used to have.
We'll get a turtle head one then, or whatever it is.
I want a turtle's head beach set. We need to go shopping for them when we're at these expos. You need to take me around and show me what good headsets exist. Because if I'm going to be playing an online game I need a beach set. Right, we are quickly approaching comics hour, Anna. Are you sticking around for 10 minutes or so while we waffle about comics?
No.
Well, everybody say goodbye to Anna then.
No, I'll listen, it's fine.
Okay, don't take back your goodbyes, you monsters. She's not going anywhere. Pab, you've read The Fix Volume 2.
Yes, I've read it finally. After all, how long ago did I get that? Last time we were at Comic Con?
I think I got it. I think I got it at the same time, and I haven't read it yet. So
yeah, I think I got it when we were in London. So I think that must have been the last time we were at Comic Con. Finally got round to it. It's only a small book. It's 4 issues. I was like, that's weird. But it's still good. Yeah. I don't know why they do this every now and again. Just like some are 6 issues, some are 5. This one's 4. But it's a really. I really like this book. I wasn't sure at first, and I couldn't remember what the hell had gone on in the previous book. But they have like a basic 2-page previously on.
I remember this series has one of the best issue 1s of any comic series ever. The issue 1 is excellent and really grips you and intrigues you about what might come next. It's a very cool issue 1. And I don't think I've even made it to the end of the first trade, though. I've read issue 1 a couple of times, but never don't remember ever going past it. So I need to get on with it and read both volumes that I've got sat on my shelf.
Yeah. It's basically about these crooked cops who are like the smarmy crooked cops who are getting away with murder, basically. Not literally murder, but they're getting away with all sorts of stuff, and they know stuff that's going on, and they know how to work the system or what have you to their benefit. And this basically there's parts that leave one of them thrown out of the loop, sort of thing, ever so slightly. I'm trying to do it without spoiling it, but I don't know. It's good. It's good. Just keep reading it. I really enjoy The Fix. I found it hard at first because I don't remember what's gone on because it's been that long since I've read the first one. But I thought I'm struggling to get back into it, but once I got moving on it and whatever, it came.
I'm starting to have that problem with a lot of comics because I went so long reading weekly issues or monthly issues, and I haven't done that at all this year. Now we're into September. When I was in Forbidden Planet the other day, I was looking at books thinking, I just don't know whether I need to buy this one or not. I was looking at Saga, I looked at Wicked and the Divine, and I have no idea whether I'm behind or up to date on any of these books when it comes to the trades. I think I need to do some kind of inventory of what I've read digitally on my iPad, so I can work out what I need to buy. Because I'm
trying to do that too.
Because I've not read an issue of Saga this year. So if there's a trade that collects this year's issues, then I need to buy it. But I was looking at them in Forbidden Planet, and I don't know, they all look fairly familiar. I don't really remember what was going on when I stopped.
I think the newest big chunky books come out this year, hasn't it? The newest, the book 2.
Yeah, but I've read almost all of it. I should think. It depends how many issues they released this year and whether they're out as a trade yet. Because like with Paper Girls, I was only 5 issues behind on that when I picked up the newest trade because of the way the trades come out. And same with Wicked and the Divine. Yeah. I don't know if I'm behind. I picked up what looked like the most recent trade. And the first issue in it is the magazine issue, and I know I've read that. I remember talking about that at the end of last year.
That was the most recent one.
I wanted to talk to you about because that's what I've got, and it is the most recent trade. But I'm finding it. I wanted to ask if I could skip that magazine bit. It's doing my head in.
I didn't like it. I
really liked it.
It took me probably 4 times as long to read that single issue than what a regular one would. I don't know why. I don't know. It was just a format or whatever. I couldn't get to grips with it.
I think I've read the first.
You got to read the Lucifer bit. Just have a bit more Lucifer. The Lucifer bit's cool.
What the issue was for me was I read the first 2 or 3, got to the Lucifer one, and thought it's nice to see the character, but I don't really care for what happened in the past.
It's not relevant to the story now, is it?
Yeah, it's not relevant. I felt a bit like I'd have rather that be at the end of the book so that I could prolong my time in the world, whereas I want to get on with the story, and felt like if I skip it, I'm going to miss out. If I don't skip it, I'm never going to get to the rest of the story. It's just been sat on the side since. That's basically what I wanted to kind of cover off with you today by talking about it was, do I just need to suck it up and read it all, or can I just go on and crack on with the comic? Because if that's the last one you read, then obviously, unless this whole book is a bloody magazine.
No, I think that was the last issue I read, so I guess I don't know what happens after that, whether it's related to the magazine or not.
No, that's the only magazine issue there is, that first one in the book. And I personally would say probably read it, because I feel like initially I thought the same, but I felt glad that I read it at the end, because it gives you tidbits of information about the characters that you wouldn't have otherwise. And I think some things are mentioned later in the book, in sort of reference to that information.
Fair enough.
So you might want to just stick it through, sheepdog. Just get through it.
It's funny because sometimes when they're doing their kind of decadence and their, we're divine and all this, I love it. And then other times when they do it, I feel a little bit like, all right, just get to the point. We get it, And I suppose I've just got to be in the mood for it. It's probably the main thing. But I can't wait to get cracking it properly. You said about being behind, Kev, and I know you haven't read Walking Dead in ages. But what happened the last time you read that? Because it feels like it's got a story coming up now.
I think the last time I read it was when the Whisperer War thing was just starting, but I don't think it had started. They had like a country fair, and Negan... Oh, it was when Negan broke his bat. Was that on that? Or was that on the TV show? I don't even know now.
Lucille. Yeah, Lucille...
That's the last thing I remember.
Died.
Yeah.
See, so the most recent one I got, they introduced a character called Princess. And I don't know, I couldn't decide whether she looks cool in terms of how she was drawn. she seems like she'll be interesting in that she's got a sense of humour. She's not like Negan swearing, but there's some points where it's shocking that, you know, it's kind of one of these. She's supposedly been wandering around on her own all this time and hasn't spoken to anyone in years, and you know, it's just cracking jokes. But I kind of finished the comic wondering whether she was going to be a bit of a jump in the shark moment where they're bringing in this. I mean, she references her purple hair and stuff like that, even though it's obviously black and white. It's a comic, and I just thought, I don't know, she seems a bit too unlikely to A, have survived this long, and B, to be much interest. But obviously it's early days, it's the first one. But I was going to say that it felt like before this point there wasn't really much going on. It was kind of just bumbling along. Characters were kind of having their problems or dying or whatever, but it was all kind of just the whisper of war has happened, is going on, fallout, and then it just seemed to flatline for a little bit. And this feels like things are starting to kick on again, but I spent some time sitting there writing out what I'd like to see them do. I put it on my website, just what I thought they should be doing instead to try and push this on. But I don't think they're ever going to make Rick or any of the gang discover more about the wider world and the zombie apocalypse, are they? They're going to always focus it on this little local area. And I'm not sure how much more time I can spend giving a damn about this whole like community of people living.
It is frustrating that he said that he doesn't ever see there being an ending, because it's been going 16, 17 years now as a comic. He really needs to decide how the story is going to end, or else it's just going to start meandering and repeating itself, and I just remember not really be going anywhere.
Yeah, I remember him mentioning he had it all pitched out to, like, I want to say 250, but I'm thinking he might have even had 300. And yeah, that miffs me, because I think the one I read last was 175 or 170. It's somewhere around that. And so I'm very much like, look, if you're telling me there's pretty much as many comics left in this as there are out, then yeah, he needs to be stepping it up and having some characters, even if it's Carl and Rick dies at some point, but somebody needs to start finding out more about what happened and getting involved in some wider story, because they can't just have Carl lead a community, defend it, die, his kid do it. That's just going to be terrible.
But Kirkman does have previous for not really knowing when to stop. With Invincible, it was brilliant for the first 70 or 80 issues, or even for the first probably 100 issues. It was outstanding, as good a superhero comic as I'd ever read. And then it just went weird and rubbish, and I don't even know if it's still going. I know he put it on hiatus for a little while because inexplicably people had stopped buying it. But it was like he started with this really cool 100-issue arc that was brilliant and really well thought out, and then he didn't know what to do next, and for whatever reason didn't just end it there. And you compare it to something like Preacher or Why the Last Man, or some of these outstanding books that we've talked about, they're that good because they never get waffly and they're telling their story that they were always planned to. I imagine Preacher, that was to a point. From issue 1, they knew where it was going. They might not have planned out every issue in advance, but they knew where that was going to end up before they started. Whereas with Kirkman, he just
even with Preacher, though, it felt like from maybe 45 to 55, it was just like, it felt a little bit like they were starting to drag it slightly because they wanted to hit 60 for whatever reason. It never got bad, but there was a point where Preacher, Jesse was just in a random area and not really doing anything of point. I mean, it was still a fun story, but it was like out and just ended it. I definitely. I mean, that's a fantastic comic. It's right up there.
Right, that will do. I've had enough of your voices, and I'm sure everyone else has as well. So let's wrap things up there for this week. Reminder, refer back to the start of the show. If you want to be coming to any of these meetups we've got planned over the next couple of months, your best bet is just to let me know you're coming, and I'll add you to the tables, particularly if you want to come to the EGX one. At the moment, there's very few people who've said they're coming. If you're planning on just turning up, just pop me a tweet and tell me that, and I'll just add you to the booking, so at least we don't have to have people sat on a different table over the other side of the restaurant like we've had in the past when people have just turned up on the night. So if you're planning on coming, let me know. And to confirm, that one is going to be at the Smokehouse in Birmingham, not at Rub as previously advertised, because Pab got it wrong. But that and all the other stuff is things that you can find on Twitter, where you can follow the podcast at MGUK Podcast, or you can follow me at Lelujo.
You can follow me at RB6K.
I'm at Mr. Lelujo.
And I'm at Pab 1986.
You can also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/MatureGamerPodcast, and you can check out all my delightful video goodies, including the £11,000 Twitch donation I got this week at lelujo.fm, and I have now recovered from it, but I didn't get gold shoes. So if you haven't caught up with that, that would be something that you might want to watch from my extensive video portfolio. Toodle pip, everybody.
I also... Hey, how dare you. I figured out what happens when a human being dies and wrote about it on my blog. So if you want to know what happens when humans and animals and anything dies, go to sheepdogrights.com. I talk about it on there. I figured it out.
Well, there you go. Can't beat that. Bye, everybody.
Have a good week.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening, folks.